So anyways, what I was saying, guys, is you can kind of run your nail up and down it like this, and it'll catch if there's any chips or anything in it, but there's not in this so far. So we'll move on. Gotta find my piece of wood here. Alright, so we'll move on to the nl5 and we'll do the same thing as far as the trunicating cuts, and then we'll cut some paper and see if one outperforms the other. Yeah, this goes right through easily. I think it's because just a little bit thicker, but it's opening the wood up a little bit easier. Yeah, quite a bit easier, so works a little bit better for that. So I'll get another piece of paper here and we'll see if one's better than the other. Okay, so the nl5, let me wipe the edge off. Still cuts waves. This wind is terrible, sorry guys. Still cuts circles after that work we did. Alright, so this is the F1 Pro cobalt steel. Wipe the edge off. Still cuts waves. Still cuts circles. So, all things being equal at this point, I know that was a short test. We didn't do a ton of stuff, but just some stuff you might do when you're out bushcrafting or you're out camping maybe. So far, and this is the second test I've done, I haven't really found that the cobalt steel is any better at this point. In my first video, when I tested this knife against the F1, the regular F1, I was testing the VG10 against cobalt steel, and this is VG10 against cobalt steel. I felt like the test was kind of inconclusive, because when I finished it, neither knife really would cut very well, and maybe I went too far. But I didn't see an advantage to the cobalt steel over the F1. You know, this is a $260 knife, and the normal F1 is about a $130 knife. So my point was that that very first video I did a month or so ago, or 2 months ago, that do you need to spend the extra money on the F1 Pro because it's cobalt steel? And I thought at the time, no. So I tested VG10 against cobalt steel again with a different VG10 knife, and I still would say the upgraded steel to me has not shown me any great advantages yet. I would say maybe the only advantage, and this is a big maybe, when I sharpen it I feel like I can get the cobalt steel a little bit sharper than VG10, but that's a big maybe, and that's just me feeling and cutting, and you know, I'm not going to say that's a scientific, anything I've done is scientific. It's just what I feel. It seems like I can get it a little bit sharper, and it does sharpen up really nice. But going back to the old standby VG10, this steel is incredible, and for as cheap as you can get an F1, I don't feel that you should spend extra money on this knife. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the box, and I'll talk to you guys later.